Good morning. Welcome to the TRN LinkedIn Live. Alex Faiers, great to see you.
Thanks, Gordon. Great to see you too.
So we're going to be talking all about increasing conversion rates with marketing automation. I'd just like, for anybody that doesn't know Alex, I'd just like to make a quick introduction. Alex, you're the founding director of Adactivity, and you've worked with us probably 10 years now. And helped loads of our members in terms of getting an ROI from their marketing activity. You also build outrageously good websites, and everybody I've ever met that has taken on an Adactivity website has been raving about it. So we're going to be talking about the marketing automation. Just very briefly, how's your year been?
Up and down.
Yeah.
There you go. Fairly brief. Yeah, it's a down bit over the summer, I think, as everyone has experienced, but I think we're back on the up.
Nice, fantastic, good. Right, let's get into this, and obviously any questions that come in during the course of it, we'll make sure we feed them into you. Looking forward to it. Over to you.
Great. And I'll start talking you through it. So, hi everyone. Thanks, Gordon. Thanks, TRN, for having me. My name's Alex Faiers, and I'm here to guide you through marketing automation for recruiters. I'm just going to try and present my slide deck for you. If you give me a second. Hopefully you can see it. I'm not sure if you can. But we'll get into it. So it's a LinkedIn Live, quick introduction to why this is important, why we're talking about this today. I'm going to whiz through some of the background of marketing automation that you need to know. Then I'm going to show you some examples. My aim here today is to leave you inspired to start planning your own strategy for marketing automation at your recruitment agency for 2024. I think we have around 25-30 minutes, so I'll try and go quick. Hopefully we'll leave some time for Q&A at the end, but Gordon is going to interrupt me at any point if any questions come in as we go through it. So Gordon, can I ask you, can you see the slide deck?
I can't, no, Alex.
Okay.
No, not going through yet.
Okay, so perhaps we can get some help with that. And we can try, just give me 2 seconds and I'll try and present it again. Otherwise we'll just crack on and we'll talk it through.
Yeah. Okay. Right.
So quick, thanks for your intro, Gordon. Appreciate it. Very quickly, my name is Alex Faiers. I run a digital agency called Adactivity. We specialize in working with recruitment companies. We've been a TRN Gold Partner for a couple of years, and like Gordon said, working with TRN for over a decade. Marketing, here we go. Thank you. So marketing automation for recruiters. Why? Why are we talking about this today? What's the goal? Why is this stuff important? It boils down to these things. We want more candidates into your CRM. We want more leads. We want more meetings. We want your recruitment website to be more efficient. This is what we're all about. So what is marketing automation? I'm sure some of you know, but for those that don't, it's very, very simple. We don't need to overcomplicate it. It's essentially nurturing with a help first, with a value first mentality. And we want to nurture people. We want to get them back to your recruitment website. And we want to build your brand, and we want to lead with value. Now, some example automations that you might think about, most often, the most common one is downloading some sort of a guide, maybe a PDF, and then being emailed related content over time. It's designed to give value and ultimately to get you back to your recruitment website. Now, just to clear up some potential confusion with marketing automation versus recruitment automations, marketing automations are taking people down your sales funnel, okay? From being unaware of you to hopefully fully aware and ready to engage. They're essentially leads. can be candidates, or it could be prospects. In some case, might be people that might want to work for your agency. The goal with marketing automation is to get them engaged with your brand, and then for them either to apply for a job, register with you, or book a call and start working with you. When we look at recruitment automation, they're more operational. Typically, it happens inside your CRM mostly. So you could be onboarding candidates, sending them emails, letting them know expectations, what happens next. Excuse me. You could be keeping consultants in check with reminders. We often call it business process optimization. So you're using your tools to automate what you can to make your consultants' lives easier. So very, very different. With marketing automation, we're trying to drive marketing towards sales. And often they're in two completely different systems. Now, it's worth mentioning a typical buyer's journey at this point, and Gordon, I want you to think about you're dreaming of a new set of golf clubs. Okay, you've seen your friend's got a new set, you're a bit jealous. What's that typical buyer's journey? Potentially, you might be browsing the internet without maybe any real intent. You're just having a look. You then start getting tracked around the internet. You've been pixeled. You start seeing ads. Maybe you go back to the golf club website and you're drooling over them, and then maybe you download the brochure. They start sending you emails, and eventually after 7 or 8 weeks, Gordon, you buy the clubs. It's taken maybe 12. When it comes to recruitment, it can be the same, especially when we talk about candidates. Now, there's two big audiences, your two main audiences, candidates and prospects. But with candidates, think about the candidate buying journey, the equivalent, especially when you're thinking about hard to reach candidates, potentially in a high demand sector who might not actually be active in the market. They might not be looking for a job. They need nurturing over time. And this is when marketing automation comes into play with your candidate journey. So those examples of Gordon's new golf clubs, there are three things that happened. There was some sort of conversion event, some sort of conversion content. Gordon downloaded a brochure. There was marketing automation to nurture him, sending him emails about how amazing these golf clubs are, and then maybe showing a video on YouTube about getting a 20% extra distance on your drive. And then there was retargeting ads to get Gordon back to the website to buy. This is what we're talking about with your recruitment website as well, on candidates and prospects, to get them back, to get your website to convert. It's worth mentioning as well about owning the candidate journey. You can't nurture people if they're not on your website. So ideally, we want them to be applying for jobs or registering on your website over applying direct on some of the job boards. And I know some of them have different rules, but ideally we want them on your website, because then we own that journey. We can control, ideally, what happens next after someone's applied or after someone's registered with you. We can promote other content. We can promote conversion content. We can promote the most recent blog post. We can tell them that we've got a job alert system. We can ultimately get them into a candidate funnel so we can nurture them over time. Because if they don't, and they apply directly on Indeed or Reed, we can't do that. We can't nurture them. So we want to own the candidate journey. Then the next thing we want to do is think beyond jobs. So how do we make a recruitment website that really works? It's going beyond jobs and starting to think about creating content that actually has value, something engaging. Okay, so if they're not ready to apply, are they interested in something else? For example, can we get them to benchmark their salary? Okay, so in this example, again, I'm talking about candidates, but of course, it's the exact same principle applying for prospects, and of course, people that might want to work for your agency as well. So I'm going to show, I'm going to show you a quick example. Coming up with some sort of engaging content is the first part. It's the important part, because we can't run automation campaigns to people if we don't have their details. we need them to engage. So this is an example, if you can see the screen, a recruitment company that specializes in financial services. They're called BWD. They're in Leeds. A client of ours for a couple of years. I believe they're TRN members. So high impact website, but we wanted to come up with something that was engaging beyond typical jobs. So we had this idea of coming up with a salary calculator. Now, what's interesting about this is we're not actually asking them for their details. We're not converting. We're just trying to show them, we're just trying to hook them with something that's engaging. So very quickly, we give a little bit of value. In this case, let's say, for example, I'm a financial planner. I can select where I am in the UK, and then I can start messing around with some of these details, like how much experience have I got? What's the value of the client's assets that I'm working with? And it's interactive. So the salary range starts moving depending on the choices that I make on the right-hand side. And this can be compelling for me. If I'm a financial planner, and in this case, I can see, well, actually, I should be earning up to £90,000 in my area with my experience. And then BWD say financial planners typically gain a 20% uplift when moving roles with BWD. That's quite interesting for me. So maybe I'm going to register. Maybe I'm going to book a call. There are those two options. But what we wanted to do with this was just give something engaging to hook them beyond the job. If they want to scroll, this is all on the homepage. If they want to then find out more, we go further down the page. And we can see, oh, okay, there's a service earnings and benefits census, yes, salary survey. So for this, you've already hooked me. I want to earn more, but actually I want to find out exactly how much more and what are the benefits. So I'm going to give you my name. I'm going to give you my email, and then you can nurture me over time. So it's a good example end to end of what we're talking about. But we started this conversation saying, how can marketing automation improve your conversion rates? Okay, what does this all have to do with conversion rates? Your conversion rate is all of the traffic that comes to your website. We're monitoring it because it's the easiest metric to track and to measure, to assess the performance and the effectiveness of your website. So all of the traffic from all sources, how much of it converts? And when we talk about conversions, it's anywhere that the user gives us their details. In recruitment, this is a job application. It's a registration. It may be that I've uploaded my CV. Potentially a prospect has uploaded a vacancy. It could be someone's filled in a contact form, they've downloaded something and used a form, or they've booked in a call. Whatever it might be, all of the conversion points on your website. And then we look at the traffic. So all of that together, for example, you might have 10,000 visitors to your website a month, individuals. Let's say you get 100 conversions. Your website converts at 1%. Okay, that's the maths. It's fairly straightforward. But what are the sort of typical ranges? What's a typical conversion rate versus a benchmark conversion rate? Sadly, we often see a typical recruitment website converting at 1%, 1 to 2%. The benchmark in this industry, like what does good look like, in recruitment is about 6 to 8% on average. An excellent conversion rate is 10%. The best we've ever achieved is around the 15% mark. Not typical, but doable. Certainly doable. Now, how do we actually go about measuring these? If any of you were on the webinar I did with Gordon in the summer, you might remember talking about Google Analytics and transitioning from Universal to GA4, and what a nightmare that has been for everyone. But essentially, we need to lean on Google, and we need to be tracking events, marking them as conversions, and then Google will tell you what your conversion rate is. So it's something that you need to do. It's a longer conversation than today, but once that's set up, you can then start to track your overall website conversion. And then if you start seeing this and getting hooked on this and you start this journey, of course you can go deeper and you can start optimizing your website in specific areas, not just your overall conversion rate, but why don't we look at how our job pages convert? What's the conversion rate of our apply now page, for example? And then using conversion rate optimization and continuous improvement, you can make slow, steady improvements across the board with your website, but then also on job pages, on application pages, on book a call pages. And these small and steady incremental improvements are going to have a massive impact. Why is this important? If you start to think about the potential improvements that you can have, it starts to make sense to really take this a bit more seriously. At Additivity, my agency, we say we make recruitment websites that work. And this is what we mean. This is what we're talking about. We want to make high-performance websites. So here's a diagram. This is our recruitment website hierarchy of needs, okay? It's based on Maslow's hierarchy of needs, which you might know about human behavior and the 5 levels. This is the website version. And this is what we're talking about, the different levels, 5 different levels of a recruitment website, from a functional website down at level 1. Okay, it exists, it works, it has jobs, it's no problems. It might convert at 1 to 2%, which you can see on the right-hand side. We need to get you up to a high-performance website, which is level 5. I'm not going to go into the details, but for example, to get you from level 1 to level 3, you need to understand your market. You need to have mapped out your personas. Who are you talking to? You need quality content, and you need a conversion strategy to get your conversion rate to go up. Level 4, this is where we're trying to get our clients to as fast as possible. You have conversion content, you have lead magnets, sales funnels, funnel design, and you're starting to build traffic. And you start to move towards having proof of concept and a high converting website. At level 5, high performance site, ideally is converting at 10% or more. You have proof of concept. You start running paid ads because you know your sales funnels work, and you work on continuous improvement to continue to get that conversion rate up and up and up, build traffic up and up and up. And you then scale your website and scale your agency. So this is what we talk about with high performance websites. It's really when you start to understand that a website as the basis of your digital marketing can really move the needle for your recruitment agency. So this is what we do for our clients. And now I want to make it your job. I want this chat today to be inspiring for you to take this as your mission to turn your website into a high performance website. Look at the numbers, work out what your conversion rate is at the moment, and then start thinking about what would the impact be if I do this and I can get up to 6 or 8%, or maybe even 10%. Let's imagine you just stick with the exact same traffic, the exact same website as you have now, but you move towards converting at 10% from 1%. That's a 900% impact. 900% improvement on candidates applying and entering your candidate funnels. 900% improvement on prospects and lead gen, people booking calls. A 900% improvement on engagement with your brand. It's powerful stuff. And yet many, many agencies, even the big ones, are still ignoring this stuff. So I want you to change that. Now, today we're talking super briefly on this, specifically about marketing automation. If you're interested in more and you want to go a little bit deeper, we do have a webinar on our website. It's called 3 Secrets to Successful Digital Marketing. You can go and check it out. It runs about half an hour. The 3 secrets, which aren't that secret anymore, Gordon, are conversion content, marketing automation, retargeting. You get those 3 things right, your conversion rate is going to go up. But of course, we're focusing more on marketing automation today. However, I just want to drop this in because it's another often overlooked or ignored strategy is CRO, or conversion rate optimization, and continuous improvement. Where many recruitment agency owners and teams go wrong is thinking that a website is a once and done project, and then they move on. And then in 3 years, someone turns around and says, hey, how's my website looking? How's it performing? Do we know? Does anyone know? More often than not, it isn't and this cycle repeats of redoing your website every 3 or 4 years, you actually need to go immediately into continuous improvement. And then the CRO aspect, so that you're monitoring your website, you're measuring your website's performance and making regular improvements to get your conversion rate up. You can use tools like Hotjar or Crazy Egg to record heat maps and record real user journeys, so you can learn where people are dropping off, where it's winning, where it's losing, what the obstacles are, and then over time. So imagine going through this process and then growing your traffic. You get to a 10% conversion rate, but then on top of that, you start building traffic. 10% increase in your traffic, on targeted traffic every quarter on quarter, is big results. It's a big deal. So this is why we take this stuff seriously. I'm going to now show you a couple of bits of examples, and hopefully it's going to give you some inspiration. I'm getting a little bit of feedback, Gordon.
Feedback.
I just want to talk about some examples, and we'll go into it a bit more detail. And then we're going to look at a case study, which works really well at the moment for marketing automations that we're running for ourselves and some of our clients. So typically conversion content, it's a PDF, it's a guide. We've mentioned them before. When you're doing these, when you're creating guides, it needs to be good. It needs to be really, really good. We call them lead magnets. Okay, and the perfect lead magnet, it needs to solve a very specific problem for a very specific person. And in this case, that person is an SAP S/4HANA contractor. Okay, that might not mean anything to you. That doesn't matter. It means something to that person. So this is a guide, a career toolkit for that very, very specific SAP professional. We've done this for one of our clients, and we really went to town. The reason that this is good is we put a lot of time and energy into planning the content so it was genuinely useful, not just paying lip service at some sort of download, but actually making it have value. So it goes into a lot of detail about certifications that you need, how to leverage your position now, the pay increases you can expect when moving from one role to another. There's a lot of content. It's designed well, it looks good, it has a lot of data. It goes on and on and on. So it delivers a ton of value, and that's the point. Another reason that this is a good example, it actually gives us lots of conversion content that we can then use in marketing automation. So on this screen, for example, we've got a quote and we've got some data. That can be repurposed on social media posts. So it's great fodder for social media, but it gives us automation content as well. Because thinking back to that candidate journey, in this case, what's probably happening is, however they've found this guide, they've downloaded it, they've opened it up and had a look and gone, wow, that's good. They've scanned it, it's maybe 14, 15, 16 pages, and then they've saved it and thought, oh, I'll look at that later. And then they've got back to their job and it's gone and it's forgotten. All of that work, they're probably never going to look at it again. So taking that content and repurposing it, the stuff that you've already done, is an instant automation win. So what you continue to do is to continue to remind them, you've downloaded this guide, here's a little snippet, here's a little insight from the guide, and by the way, you can download it again. So you're reminding them why you're sending them this email, you're reminding them to go and look at this brilliant guide, which is going to help them, and you're continuing to give value over time. And then I want to just quickly go into, sorry, I wasn't sharing those other screens. You can have a look as I'm going through them there. Now I want to show you a case study for something we've been working on this year, which is a good example. We started it doing ourselves at Activity, and now we're running them for some of our clients. We wanted to go beyond a guide and provide something, again, that had near instant value and that we could then use to nurture them over time with marketing automation. And this is assessments. So you can see here, this is one that's live at the moment on our website, aimed at recruitment agency owners or marketing professionals. We know, as I'm sure this is the case for some of you, that you're too busy for some of this stuff. Maybe you don't have a marketing strategy. So we've created a recruitment marketing roadmap. It's a survey where you assess your recruitment marketing. And then we send you tailored content, nurturing you over time, again and again, providing value, looking to solve a very specific problem, like recruitment marketing, to a very specific person, recruitment agency owner. And what happens is you grade yourself on marketing. So this is an example. Have you turned your goals into SMART goals? Yes, no, or maybe. And you grade yourself. And as they go through the assessment, they grade themselves on different areas, and then they get their results. So you've given value. It's fast. Then they have an in-depth report which they can read. But you can see that they've graded themselves on 6 different areas, from content marketing to strategy to brand to website. It goes on and on. What's really clever, though, is that we've got the scores for these different categories, and I want you to start thinking about how this might apply for you, for your recruitment business, because you get this data. So in our case, I know that strategy, they're good, they're 100%, but digital marketing, 28%. So what we do, when we put them into our automation platform, which looks like this, we send them their report, but then 3 days later we say, hey, how did Gordon do when it comes to strategy? Oh, he knocked it out of the park and scored 100%. So we're not going to send you any content. How did Gordon do on digital marketing? Did he score higher or less than 40%? Oh, less. So now we're going to send Gordon information about what we know he needs help with, which in this case is digital marketing. And we say, hey, Gordon, thanks for filling in our roadmap recently. You scored 28% on digital marketing. Here's some content that's going to help you with your digital marketing in your recruitment agency. So it's hyper targeted and relevant to you and your situation. So it's a really cool funnel. It's a really cool assessment, and it works amazingly well for marketing automation. And you build this platform, and the idea is that whenever you produce any more content at any point that's relevant, be it a blog post or another guide or a video or a webinar, you come back to your automation and you say, where is this relevant? Is it branding? Is it strategy? Is it digital marketing? So it grows and grows and grows over time. So here's some examples for what we're doing at the moment with some of our clients. Are you on track for a fulfilling and rewarding career? This is for one of our clients, again, TRN members who work in healthcare, where if you're a nurse, you can assess your current career, and then they're going to nurture them with relevant content over time. Another one, need tech talent fast. Assess which solution best fits your talent strategy, and you're telling us where you need help, and then we're going to give you that specific help. Red, another one, recruiter career health check. This one is aimed at the work for us audience, which you mentioned a couple of times. So targeting consultants, recruiters, and how rewarding is your career, because maybe you want to come and work for Red, and then sending you relevant information about what you're telling us. So it works really, really well. I know we've kind of whipped through that at some pace. We've got maybe a bit of time for questions, but if anyone wants to reach out, you can find me through TRN. You can find me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to go a little bit deeper and talk about how this stuff might work for you and your agency. But other than that, the goal of today is to inspire you to think, yeah, we're not doing it. We need to do that, and start making plans for 2024, because this stuff has an impact. It's serious.
Alex, absolutely loved it. Any questions, please come on through. The bit I've always loved in terms of your approach, Alex, and you just made it so simple through that audit that you've created. And if I was a recruitment business owner or a marketer, I'd just be doing that straight away. You've always gone on about the ROI you can get, and I know recently you had a success where somebody achieved 16,777% ROI on marketing investment.
Yeah.
Actually, that breaks it down, whether it's the marketing automation aspect to where I can get the ROI. How significant is the marketing automation to getting that ROI?
Well, it's critical. It's critical because if your website converts at 1 or 2%, you're fighting a losing battle, you know, and especially if you're not getting much traffic. So it's one of the 3 core things that we look at going beyond jobs. You need conversion content firstly, but then if you're not nurturing them, if you're not keeping in touch with people over time, you know, and retargeting as well, it's one part of the puzzle, but the 3 main things, because we want to expand that sales life cycle to 180 days, for example, so that when the candidate is ready to engage or when the prospect is ready to talk to us, we're top of mind because we've been nurturing them over time. It's really, really important.
Yeah, got it. And the big, if I was just to sum up big shifts in 2024 around all the different areas, where are you seeing the best, your best clients who are having the most traction? Where are they getting it right?
It's people starting to really utilize AI, because a lot of this stuff takes time. Even if you're working with partners like us, it still takes time. AI doesn't solve everything, but it speeds the process up and it lets you deliver more. But at the same time, everyone now has these tools. So we've got to raise our game. You know, we've got to make these guides or these assessments or whatever it is genuinely valuable. We can utilize AI to speed things up, but you've got to make them good.
Yeah, and just I mean, AI as we know is been available for the 12 months. I was speaking to an AI strategist over in the States who's going to get involved with the membership, but whether people are actually doing anything with it now. What's your experience of to what extent it is being embraced? Are we still in kind of early adopters doing something cool with it?
Yeah, definitely. And I think in the recruitment sector, like many, you know, we all know it exists, we all know it's there, but we're not utilizing it. Even in our industry, digital marketers, it's probably, you know, 30-40% of agencies that are really embracing it. So it's a slow uptake. Everyone knows it's there and it's powerful, but you need to get on it and start utilizing it to your advantage, because your competitors will do.
Yeah, brilliant. Right, Alex, massive thank you to you. As ever, you just bring value and clarity. Doesn't matter whether you're a non-marketer like me, but loved it. We had you recently, and you gave 30 top tips to proven tips to drive BD and recruitment, and it was a game changer for a lot of people. So thank you again for joining us, and maybe let's regroup on AI and marketing in Q1 of 2024.
Sounds good. Thanks so much. Thanks for having me, Gordon. Appreciate it.
Have a good one. Great to see everybody.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.